Okay, today I'm going to show everybody a new AI tool I came across, ImagicTools, and what I found playing around with it, it is pretty cool. Like, I was shocked for a open source tool. I don't think anybody heard of it. It really does a really good job as far as following prompts exactly. And I compared it to other tools. Very impressive. It's up there. Now, what's interesting though, it does use Flux. So, granted, if you use Flux as a standalone, you are fully aware how good Flux is. So, I'm going to show everybody how good it is. Um, and this is a prompt I had in there last night because, again, I was playing around with it, I was testing it, you know, but we're going to start all over. So, what we're going to do, we're going to start with a image. We're going to go through DeepSeek and have the image broken down into a generator or a prompt generator. Because one of the things that makes it easy, if you can't generate an idea, you actually can take concepts of what you are trying to do close to what you want and have an AI to break it down, all the images you upload. And then if you're careful, you can take apart the prompts, paste it into a text editor, rewrite whatever you need changed, and then paste it back into the prompt text box. Okay. So we're going to take this image because there's something I want to create where I have one of my characters. Um, she is a Japanese mother who found out she is a half-breed elf. She's, a thin bloodline elf with more human DNA than elf DNA. Um, she finds a child in the ruins of a thunderstorm in Shinjuku, Japan, and she raises him. And the story goes on where, they go through several situations where they're being chased because of their lineage. But anyway, I wanted to do a concept art or it might be even a book cover where her child or adopted child is in a tiger form. I mean, he's a giant tiger, but what I was considering for him to be a giant tiger, he has elements of a lion. Now, I haven't decided how that's going to come to be yet, but there is a world where giant lions exist, and I wanted to tie like this species of lion. And I do believe there is a fallen angel that appears as a lion. I have to go through the list because I did find the list of almost all the 200 fallen angels that were following Lucifer out of the one third that followed him that came to Earth. And one of them appeared as a lion. And I'm thinking this might have been the second group because there was a first group that came, God locked them up before the flood. And then there was another group that came, but they stayed more secretive, or they told the humans they mixed with to stay, kind of secretive. And then all of a sudden, um, the scouts of, I believe it was with Aaron and Moses, found them. I do believe there were rumors going around of giants, but there was no proof until the scouts went out and they found many nations with giants. Anyway, besides the point, in my story, there's a race of lions, and I'm going to sort of tie it to the mythology of Lion, Witch, and a Wardrobe, and it's one of my favorite stories. But I'm going to dive more into where that story origin comes from before I tie it to that. But anyway, I wanted to have where my character, I mean, he already has spiritual ties to a dragon form, a tiger form, and eventually I think I'm gonna have him get tied to a third form, and I haven't decided what. But I wanted to have it where, at least in his dragon form, that's usually triggered by him fusing with his sister, and then the tiger form is more him. And then I was considering a third form if he ever, goes down that. Oh yeah, that's right. It was the wolf. Yes, it was the wolf. So he has three forms. He's naturally he turns into a giant wolf, and then once he fuses his sister, a giant serpentine style dragon. I haven't decided if it's going to be Japanese or Chinese, but most likely Japanese. And then as far as the tiger part, um, he goes through two stages of the transformation. So the second stage, he's a giant tiger at this point, but I wanted to have it where the only way he turns into a giant tiger and he can maintain that form a lot longer than the wolf form by himself is there's a catalyst. So I do have it in another book I'm going to write where he appears again, but he's a liger. But when he appears as a tiger, a plain skinned tiger, but then when he powers up, his stripes appear. So his first appearance, um, I wanted to have him being walked by his mother in his tiger form, and this image was very, very close to what I wanted. Instead of me drawing it out, which would have took forever a day because I would have had to find a reference of a tiger and a reference of a Japanese woman, and then I'll have to add armor and all that. And I used to do all that. It used to take forever pulling all these references and then drawing it out. Thank God for AI, I can do it quicker. And people will say, oh, that's cheating, whatever. But you know what? You still have to have an artist mindset to do stuff like this, or you have to know how to describe what you want to do this. So, from what I've seen so far, some of the AI generations I've seen, they have to definitely come from artists because some of the extreme, intricate concepts are really good. And you have to have an artist mindset to come up with the description to have AI to generate it because otherwise you would be drawing that by hand, some from references. And it's easier if you can get AI to do it. And you can tell who's an artist who generates this stuff and who isn't. It's not you. A random person can't just generate something because again, you still have to be able to write this stuff out. Now there is a secret behind getting what you want, and DeepSeek it kind of has it now. And I've tried it with other tools, I think. And if you know what to type, you can get other tools to describe what the image is. But DeepSeek actually does a good job. So what you can do here, and I've done it before, you go into the vision part, and what you'll type is, and in fact, I'll zoom in a little bit so you can actually see, create a image prompt from this uploaded image. Okay. And as you can see, and this is what I like about DeepSeek, it actually shows you what it's pulling and what it's generating as like instructions and code. Okay. I know. We can all take turns. So once once it calculates and formulates how it examines and analyzes the image, and sorry about the background noise, you have your prompt here. Here are a few image prompts based on the image you uploaded, ranging from highly detailed to more concise. So you have different options you can pick. Okay. Now, the highly detailed and descriptive best for Midjourney, and it tells you what you can use this for. Midjourney and Dolly are pretty good. I've actually used Dolly maybe once or twice, and I forgot what generator I used, but it's been a while. But I think compared to Kling I like Kling so far. I'll have to go back and test Midjourney and Dolly 3 again to see what I like about it again. And here's another one, Stable Diffusion, and then this is just for quick generation. So what I want is I want to change the details from the image so it could look similar. Okay, so we're gonna go through this. We'll zoom in specifically on option one. Okay, so we have a cinematic photorealistic wide shot of a massive dark gray black spotted big cat, and I'm gonna change that, and I'm gonna make sure that it says resembles a tiger. Okay, it gives you the eye color prominent, um, more details of how the tiger looks, and it says it's walking towards the camera, and then this is the description of what it's wearing. And in fact, we can actually pull up the image so you can see what it's describing. As you can see, here's the image here. So it's actually breaking down the image in great detail. Now, the only thing I probably would do, and this is how I want it, I want to have my tiger to have like a elven headpiece or a crown. Okay. So I'll probably have it. The beast wears an ornament metallic. I'm gonna say armor metallic headpiece instead of armor piece. Okay. And then I'm gonna have it have like a center like gem in the middle. So I gotta add all that. Okay, and then it says behind the casting, and is a fierce female warrior. I'm gonna have again fierce female Japanese warrior, probably. Um, in fact, I may even add a description on what that warrior looks like because I have a generation of the warrior, and I have to look at my downloads because I think I downloaded it after I had it generated. If not, I have to pull it off of one of my hard drives or flash drives, wherever I have it stored. Yeah, I'm gonna have to pull it. I may have it. I'm trying to remember which tool did I use. In fact, let's look real quick, and I can't remember what was the first tool I used. Let's check ChatGPT. Go in your library is already open. As you can see, I've actually done a lot of generations. I've converted a lot of my old art from late 90s to present, which is it's good to have. Um, and this is another one I had converted. These are character sheets. Thank God, because character sheets take a long time to draw. This is the original drawing that I used to convert into this. Let's see. So it's not this one. Let's try Gemini library. I've done some graphic design work in AI. This is a drawing I did. I had AI color it. I did it in different tools though, but this is I think this is the last output. It's very tedious trying to get AI to color a sketch, and again, you still have to explain how to color it and you know what to color, what not to color, and then you'll have to definitely go back and re-edit it. That's strange. It's not. All right. So the only one left will be Copilot. Huh. Now, the only problem I'm having is I believe Copilot has they have a time limit how long it keeps images. If I'm not mistaken, I think it does. And so the reality to this is if you don't download, oh man, hold on. That's new. Okay, so if you don't download your images, I do believe it deletes it after 30 days, if I'm not mistaken. Because I do believe I created it. I know I created it either in ChatGPT or Copilot because it's not, and that's strange. And I think ChatGPT does the same thing. I'll have to. uh, that's interesting. All right, so I find it interesting. I don't see it, and I know I could have sworn I uploaded it onto this computer, and I'm using two screens, so you're not seeing what I'm looking at the moment. So I don't want to crowd screen number two, which is what you're reviewing. And that sword, I don't even. Yeah, that is wild. So I'll have to pull it from my phone, honestly. And then again, with that being said, I had to purge my phone because I had a lot of videos that I was screen recording onto the phone and editing in CapCut, AI generations, whatnot. So I find that strange. I don't remember what AI tool I used. And I just have a feeling it was in Copilot, but Copilot does not keep the generations past 30 days, I do believe. And it's a thing where I do try to download all the generations as possible. I don't even have it in my phone. Like, wow. So I took it off my phone. That's insane, man. Wow, that is crazy. I had a AI folder. I would check my other phone. I do have two phones, so and then the other, if I don't find it, there is a app I have, and I've been on this app for a while. It's a artist platform, and it's really, well, at the time it was quite popular. It still has a really good following, really good, and a lot of the art that's now showing up is unfortunately AI. Some people are still drawing, some people are now using AI now, and you could tell. Here she is right here. You can tell by just, in fact, if you go on Pinterest, you'll see, you actually see it. So this is, that's not the full variant. Oh yeah, people are actually doing something similar. Oh, that's interesting. I don't even know why. I only uploaded that image. Man, why? I should have. All right, I need to check my other phone because I also had its generated image. Well, it looks like I ripped it off my phone. Yeah, that is crazy. I ripped it off. Oh wait, no, no. Okay, I got it. Okay, all right. It's on my Z Fold 6. So I need to figure out which one I want to use. In fact, I'll show you all of them. I'm going to do a quick share. That way it'll be on this laptop. And here's the quick share.
Daniel, hurry up, it's your turn.
All right. I do have multiple phones. I have about 4 phones, which I do use all for media purposes.
Don't care.
Okay, so I don't need this for now. I can close this out. All right, so here we go. I'm going to start the photo app. Then we're going to close this out, bring this back down. All right, so this was one, and I like what it generated, but the face is a little animate, but it's not the face I want. The lips are too big. The eyes are perfect, but the lips are a little too big. I don't know. Like if I use it for manga or comic book, I probably will go with that look, but I'll have the eyes slanted more. Then there's this one, but the problem with this one, she's too Caucasian and the skin's way too pale. Asians do not look like that. The armor is pretty good, but it's very close to this armor style. Okay. Then there's this one again, too Caucasian looking. She looks more goth. And then this one, I probably will go with this one. This one has a definite Asian face. You see the high cheekbones. In fact, like if you zoom in, you see how Asian she looks. And that's like really perfect. The pearls, I didn't ask for pearls, but whatever. And then this one again, this is more of an American comic book style. She looks like Harley Quinn in an armored bodysuit. And then this one, but the sword is too plain. I believe that was the original generation that I had. And then this one is basically like almost full body armor. I may go with this style because I don't really want her to have a sword in her hand. And I could do this one or this one, just in general, you know. But again, I may use this one, but I'll have to say without the sword. Or I can do this one. It'll be a lot easier. So the best way to do this is you read through your prompt that your AI tool generated, and you have to pay attention. Now, again, if you want to change the character, you have to find where the prompt starts with describing the character and where it ends. And you see it starts here behind the cat standing like a fierce. So you have to start here and stop here. Okay, this is where the woman is described. The rest of this is the background. Now, as far as the background, I probably will keep the background because she is Japanese. I may have the description more of a Asian Japanese inspired fantasy temple, or I'll just put the background is a Japanese inspired fantasy temple, just to keep it more specific to she's Japanese, blah blah blah. Okay, so this perfect. Okay, it's perfect. I'm gonna go with that. Now, again, we need to change the female. Okay, and of course it's telling you us first. So what we're gonna do again, go to attach. This was, I think it was in downloads. Because you also have to make sure where your prompts are going. Again, I think I'm gonna go with this one, fully armored. Now that that's loaded in, to keep it easy to repeat what you created as a instruction, copy the original prompt and then paste it in your prompt text box and hit generate. Okay. Now that that's finished, we're going to examine your prompts. Again, it says highly detailed and descriptive, best for DALL-E and Midjourney. So you have your descriptive detail, then you have concise and direct, a female fantasy wearing heavy armor, red and black, plate armor power. And here's the problem. If you want a generalized description of your character, you can go with this and see what it comes up with. And then this is an artistic style focused on, and it says best for stylized outputs. And this one is kind of basic. It says concept art of a sci-fi knight, crimson black neck armor, horn helm with white crest, fierce long braided hair, digital 2D anime painting. You gotta be careful with that part because it will make her look more 2D anime versus your animal. And again, this one may not match what you're looking for. This one is definitely more of what you're looking for. Just again, pay very close attention to this because it says 2D concept art style. The problem with that is if you look at your image, it's not quite 2D. Yes, it's a 2D, 3D generated painted style, but it's more 3D. So be careful because a description converted to a prompt will give you exactly what the descriptions say. And if you say 2D, it's going to look exactly like 2D anime influence. Most likely it'll give you that anime style that's mostly in 2D. So be very careful with that because it will give you what you type. Basically, give you what you ask for. Okay. So unfortunately, this is a lot. But if you want exactly something similar, you're going to have to type all this or put all this in there, okay? So what we're going to do, we're going to take option A and we're going to put it in the prompt. Now we're going to do, let's start with futuristic. Let's do two. We're going to do two, all right? We're going to start with futuristic, which I'm trying to wonder that would. Well, this image is a cross between futuristic and realistic. Well, we'll do both because again, this is free. This is what's nice about this. This is free, okay? There's no tokens or points you need. And that's what's cool about open source. Most of them are free. Some of them will just give you a few points a month, so you gotta be careful with that. Once you use your points, you have to wait till the next 1 month iteration to get a refill. So keep that in mind. If you can't wait, definitely use your email accounts. And I was going to mention that, but I may do a video on that or a short because to avoid paying for all this, which is expensive, if you're good at getting your prompts to generate in the free models, then definitely do that. And that's what I've been doing. And I haven't done a lot of videos because it does that. That's going to take forever, like 5 seconds a clip, and I have to wait a month. Yeah, it's going to be a minute, but if I got to, I got to. All right, so again, what we're going to do, go into option A. We're going to copy this whole prompt, paste it back. Paste as, you don't have to paste as regular or plain text, doesn't matter. But if you have links or cues in your text, definitely paste as plain text because if you don't, I noticed some of the links or cues end up being actual links and they won't paste or appear in your pasted text. So be careful with that. Okay, so here we go. we wanted to edit this. So a cinematic photorealistic wide shot of a massive dark gray spotted big cat. We're going to change that to white. And then why I'm picking white is I like white tigers and they're rare. And I want him to be white. Um, I think I'm gonna have him. I think I'll have him with the stripes because he's not black striped. Let's say tiger striped big cat resembling a, and we're gonna put a white tiger. It's and you definitely have to make sure you're specific. Why did? Oh wait, you know what? I didn't mean that. Okay. Otherwise, it may not know what it means. Sometimes it can guess, and sometimes it won't. All right. Now with striking, we're going to change the eye color to purple because well, let's see. The first time my character is tapping into an electrical power called Electric Knight, so his eyes are purple. This time, he's not tapping into that. So what I might do, um, I would say blue eyes. I might just do blue and red because blue and red eyes. All right. And a prominent reddish pink nose. I don't think that's important, but we'll say brownish pink. Okay. Walking directly towards the camera. The beast wears an ornament, metallic, we're going to say gold, metallic gold. And again, we're going to go from armor to head, piece, crown. Now, we're going to say, we're going to have it as a, whereas an elf ornament. Let's just say mythical. That way it knows how to design something mythical. Okay. On its head, shoulders, no. Metallic headpiece, and a comma with a pink large gem in the center on its head. Okay, there we go. And this wants to change it to a. All right. Now, next section. Behind the cat standing on the right. And now that's the description of the female. Then you have the description of the background. Again, like I said, I'm going to change the background to Japanese inspired fantasy temple courtyard mystic burning city. We're not going to do burning. Let's see what. We're going to say mythical lantern lit city. Oh, I don't know why I'm typing in caps. Sometimes it's force of habit, especially when you do YouTube titles. You type in caps on every word. I did it again. Okay. With thick plumes of smoke rising. Now, what I might do is I'll do thick plumes of not smoke, but fireworks. rising into an overcast city. Red lions hang on the wooden balconies, filled with watching, blah, 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 blah. All right, there we go. Now, highly detailed textures, 8K. Movie still, Unreal Engine 5. All right, so again, this was a video, but um, I, to be honest, we'll eliminate Unreal Engine render. That's more game related. Um, we'll do an 8K cinematic. Let's just say Asian cinematic. Oops. Cinematic movie still. And instead of 8K, that's a bit extreme. Let's just do 4K. And again, it's not really a big deal. What resolution? Because most of the resolutions is 1080p. I started seeing generators pushing 4K options, low res 2K. And I say low res 2K because 2K is is half of 4K. And at one point, they used to deem 4K resolution 4K, but it wasn't 4K HD. It was calling it 4K. Now they're actually saying 2K. They're being honest now. Okay. All right. So that is the scene with my tiger. Okay. Now for the female. Okay. So we're going back to DeepSeek, going to the next prompt, and we're going to use this. Now everything looks good. I'm going to change the skin tone to a little bit more of a, I'll just say Asian skin, Asian brown skin. Sharp eye nail, lips, striking red lips, feature long. Everything else is good except for 3D. I'm going to have it as a 3D concept instead of the 2D. Again, just be careful because it will make it like a anime painted style or a modified modern anime 2D style. And you don't want that. You still want it to be um, 3D. Now, I just caught something. So, but we're not going to copy paste this entire thing. In fact, we're going to stop right here. You can see this tells the generator to give her a dark metal sword in the right hand. She is posed confident against a plain dark gray studio backdrop. All right, we don't need all that. So let's start. We're going to start at the end. Go all the way to the beginning. Copy. Go back to ImagicTools, and we're going to find, and I'll zoom in if it allows me to, where it starts to describe the woman. Okay, so behind the cat standing on the right is a fierce female warrior with flowing. Okay, we're going to start with, oops, flat, platinum white hair adorned with a complex silver hairpin hairdress. She is clad in intricate design, red, blah, 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 blah. Okay, bam, paste. Okay, we're going to change. She has brown Asian skin. Because again, she is technically half elf, so she'll have a slightly like a sandy brown skin tone, like some of the southern Asians or the ones who be the sun. Ah, shit. Okay. Is a fierce, we're going to say fierce Japanese. Make sure you describe the culture. Female warrior with a high quality. We're going to make this regular A. Digital illustration of a All right, so here's the problem. We gotta get rid of all this. So standing on the right is a fierce Japanese female warrior with a high quality digital illustration of a fact. Let's see here. We're gonna take fierce female warrior. I'm gonna say Japanese warrior. Cut this out. You gotta be careful with this. Is it a fierce Japanese warrior, comma, or paste, and a mecha fantasy style with a high quality digital illustration. Period. Okay? There you go. And she has her skin, eyes, lips. Her most prominent features are a long, vibrant, crimson hairstyle. So everything looks pretty good so far. All right, there you go. With that, you have your prompt. Now, it may not be what you want, but it's close. Okay? Again, it's close. And you can always go into other AI tools and change the final output with the details. But you have to have your image source to do that, and you have to know how to describe it. So now we have our style, realistic, prompt, how many generations. Now we're going to go to your ratio. Now, like I said, I want this more of a book style, so we're going to go with this is awesome. It says social story. Most book covers are technically like that. You have other styles of ratios, classic, standard, and it's pretty cool. All right. I'd like to do one generation because also if you keep this in practice, if you do one generation, you will catch by default, and this is interesting. Every generator defaults to two. You got to be careful because they do that because it wants you to see two comparisons, but it eats through your points and tokens fast. It really does. It's better to do one generation. If you don't like it, regenerate it. If it's close to what you want, but you need to tweak it, download it, take your reference photos, and take it to another tool, mainly a chatbot tool, and then tweak it in those. That's what I do. Or you can just go into a photo editor, which is good to keep. Don't get rid of your photo editors. Go into your photo editor and tweak it. And I'm going to show you why I say that because I have a render. I did another character sheet of my. It's a fusion character. She is, or she, he. And again, I don't want to get into gender swap and all that kind of bullshit, but this is a fusion between brother and sister, and this is what they turn into. I like it. I love it. The only thing is, it decided to move the wing below your caption description. So I gotta go in and raise this wing up, and it's gonna get cropped. But hey, it is what it is. I could have told, hey, AI, in the center portion of the image or the character sheet, far left character, move the left wing or the right wing, depending on the orientation, to match the orientation of the left wing. It probably would have done it, but again, I'm going to do it myself. Reason because I don't want to be dealing with repeating myself with generation because sometimes AI doesn't understand what you mean, and sometimes if you can't get it to work, what you can do is clip out the image, have AI describe it, and then copy it back into the generator so it can correct the mistake. All right, so again, this is trial and error. We're just testing what image tool this can do in ImagicTools and how good it's doing. So here we go, generate image. Let's zoom back out. Here it is. And what's also cool, you can convert your image into templates or tutorials. I haven't tried that yet. I kind of do my own templates, which technically the templates is the image and the prompt tied to it. That's all it really is. And then your tutorials, I'm pretty sure it's kind of the same thing, but it's probably showing you how to create the prompt. And this is wow, that there it is. Now it's like I said, it's not the exact best thing, but hey, it is close to what I was looking for. All right, download it. There it is. Open file. Voila. Now the only problem is the headpiece is a little too small, but again, you can correct that. Braids. Now, she, to be honest, she has the northern Mongol, yeah, the northern Mongolian ancestral look, which is very interesting. And I say Mongolian because if you go to Hokkaido, you'll see some of those Japanese are mixed with northern Chinese, Mongol, and Russian. And why I say it because if you look in history, and it's a hidden piece of history in Japanese history, you'll find that there were natives on that island, and Chinese came over and mixed with the natives, and the language changed. I guess the natives adopted the Chinese language, as colonists, and then they had their own language. But yeah, this has like a Hokkaido style mixed with the Russian, Chinese, Mongol. Tiger is prominent. Um, but the headpiece a little too small. I can actually correct that. In fact, we might actually do that. I will leave this as is because like I said, I didn't want a full blown scale mech style, but hey, that's great. Okay, so let's change that. And again, this is free. This is what's nice about this. This is free, so you can generate this as much as you want, and then we'll do it in a futuristic style. Okay, so let's go back. Okay, the beast wears a mythical elf ornament. Now, what I'm gonna do, I'll say metallic full. Let's do full size headpiece. All right, so we're gonna do that. Okay. Um, yeah, we'll keep that. And again, this is just we're just playing around, generate image, and we'll see what we get. Now we can also try other generate. In fact, I'll show you some stuff that I did and other tools. And then we're going to test this in Canva because what I use Canva quite a bit. And there's moments, sometimes I'll use Canva if I hit a issue with censorship. In fact, I do jump around the image tools if censorship is an issue. And I find that I have to use Asian tools due to the censorship problem. Okay, this is a little, oh, you know what? Never mind. Like I said, this is futuristic. So the futuristic part, and it still didn't do what I wanted to do. But it gave her more of a demon look. I think hold on, she's a lot shorter, which I can correct. So there you go. It's got the futuristic look. It didn't really give me a full headpiece per se. Let's look at this if it keeps both open. We'll do a comparison. So the realistic keeps it to proportion. The futuristic does not. It makes the tiger a lot larger. And it didn't really give him a red and blue eyes either, which, okay, I can fix that. Because again, a lot of open source AI tools are not as accurate when it comes to certain things. And the reason behind that is because it's pulling from actual resources. Okay, so that's the problem. And again, you'll see resources like this. I should have. Well, again, I'm not gonna worry about it. So I can go back and have the eyes change, or I can do it in the AI editor. Now this one is nice. Again, I want it spread across the head. Let's try one more thing, and then we'll try this prompt in other tools. So full size headpiece crown. Let's just say covering. What? Oh, that's wrong. Oops. Okay, so zoom in a little bit here. Oh, that's why I gave her that headpiece with the horns, and that's the futuristic part. Okay, metallic gold, full size headpiece. And we're going to say covering the entire head, comma, with the large pink gem. Okay, and the eyes, striking blue and red eyes, but we're going to say striking. Let's be more specific. Striking blue left eye, and red right. Oops. And a lot of times you may have to add more details. Okay. And then we're going back to realistic. Zoom out. We're going to copy this whole prompt because again, we're going to test it in one other tool, generate. And what's cool about this tool, you have background remover, which a lot of tools make you pay for that. You have a QR code generator, which most of them offer that for free. In fact, that was actually an option way before AI. And then this is what we're in now. We have an image converter that's more or less for extensions, but I haven't tried it. Image cropper, again, some tools make you pay for that. To be honest, you can do that with any editor, unless it helps you crop out certain things out of the image. Again, they'll make you pay for that. And an image compressor. So, all right, and that's crazy. Actually, oops, let's go back. Downloads. It made her even shorter. Oh man, now that's more what I want without the horns, and it put her way back there. That's crazy. So unfortunately, it's starting to focus more and more on the tiger, but it's regenerating based on the instructions. But that's more what I want without the horns. That I don't know where that armor piece come from, but whatever. So you could go in again with references, and then swap things out. And again, this is more Chinese, so this is why it's doing that, or more Japanese. But it pushed her way back, you know. So honestly, the first image was perfect. I just didn't like the crown. So what I would do is I would take this one and this crown without the horns, slap it on this image. Enough said. Now, that background, I don't know what the hell that shit is. Um, this one has more what I want, but again, you could change things. And now keep in mind, this prompt is a bit complex. And what I noticed with most open source AI generators, if it doesn't have enough reference to learn from, it's going to pull from the resources online until it learns from what you upload. Everything you upload into any AI tool, it now stores in its server banks. All right. But anyway, I'm going to show you a comparison. I took this from, I believe it was Nano Banana or Kling. And again, this was something I tested. I started with this generation. Didn't quite give me what I wanted. Then I tried it again. Much better. Okay. Then I tried it again in a widescreen. Pretty cool. Then I tried that same prompt in OpenArt, which is another one. I kind of heard about it. It gave me this. So this was close to what I was looking for from the prompt. Pretty cool. And I believe in Kling, yes. So I did it in Kling. I took a character that I modified, added it to it, gave me that. It's pretty cool. Same prompt though, but I just altered it a bit. And then I did it again with the same prompt, but I made the male into a female. Again, pretty cool. So you can see, depending on the prompt type, it will nail it dead on as best and as close as possible. So that's pretty good. I mean, that is freaking amazing. You know what I mean? That is amazing. So one last test, and I don't have a lot of points. I do have points in Kling, but I want to save it for maybe a video. And I think in Open Art, I only have 10 credits left, so I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty steep. I think it gave me like 44 credits, and I had did 3 generations, not 2, and the other one was total shit, so I deleted it. And again, you got to be careful with how many generations allows. I think this one defaulted to 2 at a time. I dropped it to once. See, but it will do a maximum of 4. So again, watch this very carefully. Be very careful. It will eat through your points. Kling does the same thing. Gives you, um, let's see here, generate. See, right here it says 2 ratio and quality. And again, they upped this recently. It used to be 1080p. Now it's 2K. So chances are your points are going to be much higher as far as usage. So be careful with that. Make sure you drop this down to 1. Make sure your ratio is good. And of course, it's got 1K. I don't know what the hell that shit is. Might be 1080p to be honest. But they added 2K. Other models will have 4K. So again, just be very careful with that. Okay. All right. So, in fact, let's try 2 things. We're going to try Designer. Copilot Designer is pretty good. I find it pretty cool. Every now and then it's a hit and miss, but if not, it's gotten better since I discovered it. I think 23 to 24. But not well, yeah, because I was somewhat avoiding Copilot a bit because ChatGPT was out, but I watched how Microsoft canceled Cortana and made Copilot, which I don't understand why they did that, but I do believe it has something to do with the CEO swap, and that tends to be an issue when CEOs change hands. The whole prior team is let go. And so if that first team has some cool concepts, the next one has concepts of his, it may not be any better or it might be just worse. So sometimes you'll end up seeing cool concept disappear when there's a CEO swap or a team swap. And it's usually copyright and licenses issues behind that. It is what it is. Now, the only thing with Canva, you have for free limited amounts of generations, and I don't remember how many. Um, let's see. Your image feed has moved to Dreamlab. Dreamlab. Not sure why it says that. Anyway, um, these are some prior stuff I did in Canva, and it's amazing for the most part. I mean, pretty freaking cool. You may have some defects like this crap. I had to clean that up in Copilot. If you want to do realistic editing and image correction, do it in Copilot. It's a lot more on point than Gemini. Sometimes I do it in Gemini, but definitely doing it in Copilot first to clean up proportions, body, anatomy, and whatnot. And I forgot I wanted to use this for a album cover, and I can't think of what yet. But I did. I did this for Michael Jordan versus LeBron debate cover and music cover. But anyway, here we go. So we're gonna change the ratio, 9:16. Style. Let's see. Let's do cinematic. And then we're gonna paste the prompt. Oh, you know what? Let's make sure we have the exact same prompt. Let's go ahead and select all. Go back in Canva. Paste. Bam. Okay. Now, you cannot control how many generations it does. That's the only unfortunate thing. Again, you have a limit per month. So let's see what happens. I forgot if I used any last month or this month. I don't remember. Oh, yeah, okay, so it does 4 at a time. And again, you can't control it. So you will burn through your free image tokens, blah, blah, blah. Now, this is pretty fucking awesome. Minus that. This is what I was going for. Minus the horns. I don't know where the horns are coming from. Like, that's insane. See, now the eyes, that's what I was looking for. In fact, this is close to what I want, minus didn't really, I don't know, everything with the skirt shit is always a thing. I like this one. Let's see here. That looks like wings. That has horns. That's behind the ears, which is pretty cool. But that doesn't work. I kind of like this horn. And see this 2D thing right here? Again. And I don't remember. Did I change that? Okay. All right. I didn't even include it. Again, it's similar to ImagicTools. Very similar backgrounds. Again, no, that's amazing there. That one, and I don't know what that shit is. This is what I would go for, but it starts to look like cracked glass, so maybe not. But this background is probably perfect. And again, I'm considering, and you have to edit, so when you edit, you just change your prompt. But what I might do, because again, this is the only one that actually got the eyes the way I wanted, except it didn't give me a prominent left red eye. So again, I might actually use these. This size tiger, huh? All right, here's what I might do. I like this one standing, but shit. You have the walking. This, oh man. Anyway, you get the idea. I'll come back to this later. I'm just gonna download all of them because I like that crown. I need that. I like those eyes, although I can correct that in an image editor. I like that outfit, although again, it still has that Russian style. Again, you gotta know your culture. I could have put samurai, but Who knows? But this is nice, but again, the skirt thing, I'm not feeling that. I never really liked female warriors in skirts because it didn't make any sense, especially during wartime. It makes zero sense. I might actually take these two and merge them in this one. Now, this generation, uh, this one's nice. That tiger is nice. I might, shit, to be honest, this one's still pretty good. I might go with this one, change the background. Anyway, you get the idea. I'm going a little ahead of myself. All right, final test. Now, the important thing is you see how good in 2026 open source AI is. Now, one would say, how is that possible? Well, when tools come out and they correct the mistakes, other startups can look at what that prior company or AI, well, let's just say that team has did successfully and build off of that, which is the smartest thing to do. Because if you don't do it that way, then you're going to have a failed product. Now, it's not going to be perfect. Because again, based on your, like this one didn't even paste the whole thing. Oh, yeah, that's not good. Damn. All right, so this one, the text limitation is less than most. So this is what we're going to have to do. When you run into this problem, what you need to do, let's change this to portrait. What you'll have to do, go into DeepSeek. And you don't have to use this, but what we're going to do, we're going to take this prompt. Actually, let's start with this first. Again, I'm going to zoom in so you can see what I'm typing. Convert this prompt, parentheses, open close, to a, I'm going to say Copilot designer prompt format. Now, the problem with this is it may end up removing some things. So and again, this is just trial and error. We'll see what to do. A lot of times the best thing to do with designer, if you can't fit your entire prompt in there, what's the difference here? Oh, intro. You have the option to add an image. Okay. And the best way you could do that is you could take this original image, pull out specific details for the cat and the woman, eliminate the background, and then go with that. Okay. Optimize Copilot design prompt. This might be short enough. All right, let's try this prompt here. Hopefully it's short enough. We're going to keep an eye on the end. Still not enough. All right, so sadly, we'll have to go with option 2. And if you do have to do this, again, make sure you use your reference images. Select all, paste. Okay, so we're going to have to add reference images. And you can do two things. These 4 from Canva. This one's from ImagicTools. You can go with this one just for some help. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Let's do this. So, like I said, I do like that piece, but I like the full outfit. We do that one. This one, and then oh man, again, I'm thinking too deep into this. This is just a test. Okay, so we'll see how this comes out. Um, a lot of times, if you use image references, it doesn't do as good, I noticed. But if you have a straight, direct prompt, it's amazing. And I'll show you why I say that. These, if it actually generates them, you'll see what I've created. I mean, I'm surprised it's showing you the prompt, which is pretty fucking cool. These are some of the things I actually generated. These are matrix style book covers. All I did was I created a prompt saying matrix style with certain cultures in there, blah, 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 and bam. I mean, these came out immaculately. Just amazing. I mean, look at that. Same thing, DJ cover I wanted to have. And now there's some minor defects because these are old, but I cleaned it up. But these are definitely some awesome book covers I created. And again, I will be writing a matrix style book post. It will be more or less post cyberpunk, more or less, not dystopia. But it's going to have something to do with AI. And here, I was trying. This is the thing I got to work on. I was trying to replicate what Jesus looks like in Revelations, and for some retarded reason, it it only knows the white looking Jesus. Sadly, yet if you read Revelations, he looks nothing white, and it's kind of fucked up. So I've thought about it. I may have to reverse engineer what he looks like using an Indian because it describes him with copper skin, which is brown, glowing copper skin, and then I'll have to change his hair, his eye, all that shit, just to match what it's described in Revelations. And when I get to it, I'll get to it. Hopefully, I can get it to work. It's still generating. Wow, that's crazy. But anyway, if it decides to finish, we'll see what it looks like. But today's live, you actually get a chance to see what open source AI is capable of doing. Um, Overall, I've tried several. For what they are capable of doing, if I was giving them a star rating, definitely a 4.5 across the board. And the reason why I give them a 4.5 is because if you can keep your prompts as concise and simple to legit references as possible, it will generate amazing stuff. If you go too complex, like this image here is complex from a video, but again, Kling has been around long enough to have a lot of references uploaded. So this generator will be learning from anything it gets as a prompt. And from there, it will improve until they start charging. Now, I think I see a problem. I only have 15 credits. So it may not, I don't know, it may not generate, which is not good. I didn't pay attention to that. Oh, there. Oh, wow. Yo, look at that. That, yo, what? In fact, what? Oh, man. Bruh, this is what I'm talking about. Oh, I only use one. What the hell? Bro, look at that. And what's funny, I don't know where it got this from, but that was in the description. You know what? I think I know where it got it from. Like I said, I think I had my character created in Designer. I swear it was, but again, it doesn't keep everything. These are recent. Now, for some reason, it's keeping these. These are old. This is old, but it keeps these. And I'm kind of confused by that.